it happened like in two stages. I was 14 years old. One of my cousins bought a first generation RX-7, and we used to make fun of him because he'd get home from work, park the car, literally would get out, walk into his house. By the time he sat on his couch, then the damn car would backfire. So it kind of turned into like, I knew about him, but it was like a bad thing, like, what the hell's wrong with that car? And then time went on, all my families have always been mechanics, at least the guys. And so I got into working cars and did a bunch of stuff. And then one day, one of my brother-in-law used to work for Nick. And I didn't have a job at the time, so I started coming with him like every day. And I would help around, clean up the shop, sweep or whatnot. And then Nick was working on a car, and he had been working on it all day. He left. I got it done in like maybe 5-10 minutes after he left. He came back and he was like, all right, cool, good job or whatever. Started working on him, and then one day he's like, well, bring this car around. And instead of just pulling out the back and going to the front, I went around the block. It was a 93 RX-7. And it wasn't too modified, but it was making about 300, 350 to the wheels, and I drove it. That was it. Never looked back. Never looked back after that. I've been working on rotaries roughly about 20 years, 18 to 20 years. I'm not really good with keeping track of dates, but it's from my calculations about 20 years. I mean, I worked at a couple of shops. The main one was Triple R Motorsports, Nick. I worked with him from 99 to 2000. And then, I went and tried something different. So I went and started working for Lucky 7 Racing. I worked over there for roughly about 4 years. And, one day I was like, you know what? I'm doing pretty much what I'd be doing as if I was the owner, minus, being behind the desk or whatnot. And I just, it took me about a year to make up my mind. And then I was like, you know what, screw it, let's do it. I turned in my resignation. And yeah, well, I think I actually gave him about a month notice because it was pretty busy. Gave him a month notice, grabbed my check, left, and here I am. And then waited for what would have been my last check, and so far that's what's gotten me through it, and here I am.
DNA does nothing average. I mean, when Louie, we struggled to come up with a name for what he wanted to call it. I think we went like 2 months or something to come up with DNA Garage, and then he's like, we need to make sure that it's tailored to us and what we do and how we capture people, how we appeal to them. And we do nothing average. We're not like the normal shop. Louie likes to make everything personable to customers. So he likes to get to know them. So it's not just like, they're coming into the shop like a regular customer and sit down, you don't acknowledge them or you don't follow up with them when you're done with the work. It's more personable. So, when they call or, even shoot them a text, how's it going? And make them part of the family, because that's what DNA is anyway. We're a family owned and run business. So we get to know the people, we follow up with them. And maybe it's other business owners would say, oh, they're doing it wrong, they're not going to last, or they're going to fail, or whatever they're going to bash us on. But it seems to be working so far. Just be ourselves, and it happens. Go with the flow. I help Louie with the social media and gather some paperwork and stuff, get that ready for the accountant. I like to bug the boys too. Have to do that, otherwise it's not going to be fun around here. Yeah, we're in it, of course, because of, the business aspect of it, but it's more of keeping the cars alive and whoever's involved, and kind of make a family out of it. You know what I mean? Not just, oh yeah, nice seeing you, we seen you came in, worked on your car, bye, get out of here. It's not like that. It's like every car that we touch, we try to develop a relationship with that person and make sure their standards are met, their needs are met, and
we become a family, and just keep on growing that way. It's not necessarily about the money. I mean, money is yeah, you need it to survive and to move forward, but to me, it's just an object. One of the things I would like people to know is that we're true with what we say. We stand behind what we do. We're honest. We don't just do stuff to do it. We do it because either the car does need it, or even if a customer comes in and say, I want this, I'll try to give them 2, 3, 4 different options and scenarios so they get the best out of the deal, not just because somebody comes in and says, I want 500 horsepower, I'm going to take their money and give them that. There's a lot of factors where reliability and making something last and stay together. It's not just, okay, that's what you want, let's do it and take your money and get out of here. We're not like that.
People would call him all the time or search for him on social media, even while he was working there. And he'd stay professional and true to the other shop that he was working at. And he'd, just call the shop, make an appointment or whatever. And I think he gained a lot of respect for that, because I don't know if he was put to the test. I don't know. It just happened like that. But that's him. He won't do stuff on the side like that. But once people started talking and asking for him, I thought, why are they going to you? Why aren't they going to the shop? Like, even I hesitated. I don't understand it. So it's the way he has the rapport with the customers. They're not customers to him. They're like friends. But it's still a professional. It's not everybody's your friend, because that's not how it works. We understand that. But it's just the vibe and the feeling that you get when you talk to him. And he explains himself. It was a little threatening for a while. I was like, wait a minute. That's my Louie. What do you guys, wait. Time out. Too much Louie here. So then I would get like, wait a minute, this is our time. Turn the phone off. What are you doing? What's going on? Then I'd be suspicious, and just all kinds of things went through my head. And then finally, when I got to sit back here and go through him with the process as we opened the doors to DNA Garage, I seen how it just all fell into place. And I was like, okay, that makes sense now. I'm seeing you staying till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing dyno tunes, Nelson and all the guys there. Okay, now I understand how it works. Okay. So we need to restructure how we're doing these things, so you're not going to be up at 2, 3 o'clock dyno tuning, come home for an hour, try to get 15 minutes of sleep in, and then head out to the track. So I think those late nights tuning, Louie coming home, and him not being able to fully manage or structure how he wanted to run a business and prioritize, because it wasn't his business. I guess he was maybe the lead technician and a lot of people would ask for him. But I started to notice that everything was being repetitive again at the other shop that he was at. And that was the whole reason why he left the first shop in the beginning, because it was overwhelming for him. He was doing too much. And then he started doing it again. And I thought, well, wait a minute, you can say no, you don't have to do this. But the demand and the customers and the meets and the track and everywhere we'd go and Louie, I tried to figure out why Louie. So I knew back then he wasn't giving discounts, or the pricing wasn't him. Does that make sense? Because he didn't control the prices or the invoices or whatever it was he was doing at that time. So it's not like, oh, they all go to Louie because he's cheap or, or he whatever. But he was working under somebody else. So he was able to say, you know what, I want to try it. Let's try it. But he actually was going to do like parts and kind of go a different direction when he left. And it just, people got word that he wasn't physically working on cars anymore, and the demand just got too high. And people just kept coming and calling, and just more motivation. So he just said, you know what, screw it, let's just try it.
Oh, Louie's been working on my car since 2001. First 88 Turbo 2 FC, then RX3, and so on and so forth. Very trustworthy, very loyal, very helpful. If he charged for everything that he did, he'd be pretty rich.
The folks at DNA Garage were integral in this car actually getting completed and on the road. So the largest shout out goes to DNA Garage. They've basically become family to me at this point. And without them, this car probably wouldn't be what it is today.
Responsible part of the business. That's what's been a hurdle in the scheduling of cars. You know, before I was like, cars come in, I work on them, cars leave, what's next? Now it's like, I've got to schedule them. I got to make sure what's going to go out on time to where, you know, or at the pace that the guys are working. Because you know, like you see now, we're like extremely overbooked, you know. So that's the hardest part, managing the work in and out without trying to overload us. I think that's one of the biggest hurdles. Like, we've been growing, so as time's gone on, we've grown. So I've had to get, you know, more employees. The very first employee I had with us, you know, he was a great guy. You know, unfortunately, he had to move on to other things. Then after that, you know, we've hired JJ, which is kind of my I want to say shop manager. You know, then after that, I've got Will, which is basically a third person that came in. You know, he's really good at what he does. He's especially great with RX-8s. And then I've got Pancho, which is my brother. He's currently the last one that has come in right now. And same thing, you know, they each got their own individual touch, and they're good at what they do. And my main thing is, or my focus is to get all three of them to be able to do the exact same thing. You know, so if I give a full project to one guy will be able to do it, and the car doesn't bounce around back and forth. You know, but you know, overall, you know, it's same thing. It's family. You know, you come in here either to work or as a customer, and you get treated like a family. And you know, we I don't want to say we expect the same in return, but we would like that in return also. You know, Rochelle is actually, she's behind the scenes DNA Garage. You know, she's it's because of her that we're here. At first she was scared, but then when she seen how determined I was, she just pushed me, and we made it.
That's what you need.
Yep. No more of those questions.
It's totally a family environment, so even though we are working, you're really comfortable, so you almost don't feel like you're working.
By working at DNA, the knowledge I'm learning more and more every day, learn something different. I like the people I work with, you know, we're all family. Getting to know a lot of people. They walk through the door, we all treat them the same. Pretty much, it's a fun place to work with.
Right, I don't see it as a place to work. I mean, it is a place to work, but I see more family here than anything when we come to work here. More of a family than anything.
What I like about working at the shop, it feels like a good family, like a big family. It's just, you know, it's not work, it's enjoyment. You know, I can wake up in the morning and know that I'm coming here, you know, I guess work on cars, but it's not work for me. It's more of like a hobby, and it's just and then everything like Louie and Rochelle, it's just a big family. They make me feel part of something.
If it wasn't for them, this car wouldn't be on the road. I mean, every time I need help, I have questions or anything, I could give them a call and they'll help me out. So throughout the years, we became really good friends, and they're just great people. I mean, if you have the opportunity to go to the shop and get to meet them, you'll see they'll just welcome you in, and it's cool to have people like that in the community.
Now, working with DNA, it's been great, man. I mean, Louie, Miss DNA, Rochelle, and everybody inside the crew is pretty much like one big family. Every time you go in there, you welcome with open arms, like a family does to you. So it's great, it's awesome. Every time we go up there, we have a great time, whether it's me, Mickey, T, I mean, the whole crew. It's just an awesome time. Thank you so much, DNA Garage, for what you do for others. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, for all your support and believing in us.
I like that.
Thank you guys for all the support. Yay!